Hey book digitizers, today's video is about a topic that was driving me nuts for a while, and finally I figured something out. Adding, what do we call it? Related files. Adding related files into your Calibre library. So what do I mean by that? What's a related file? Well, let me give you one obvious example. You've got a book on, say, business or accounting, and the book has some related Excel spreadsheet. Maybe you download it, maybe it came in a little disk, CD-ROM in the book. Do they still do that? Probably not. Anyways, so you've got the book, which you've scanned, which is now a PDF, but you've got those Excel files, and you want to keep them together, obviously. It is possible to do it. It's actually pretty easy. Let me show you how it's done and also give you a little couple of tricks and warnings that I've figured out on the way. So let me switch over to our working area here. So let's say, for example, and I'm just going to invent an example. I've got some books already done like this, but I'm going to create an example for you. So let's say this Excel report .bookings.xls, you have to add that to some book in your Calibre library. First step, zip it, compress it. Okay, so I'm going to, it's easy in Windows now, all the zip utilities are built in. I don't use anything other than what's built in. So zip, compress to zip file, and here we've got, I already did it once before, but here we got booking, report bookings 2.zip. Don't worry about the name, it doesn't matter. Calibre is going to change it later, okay? So that's step one, zip the Excel file or the related file. Step two, drag that into Calibre. So let's open up Calibre, and let's say, and this will just get added as if it's its own book. So let me just do that. So we'll drag this into Calibre, and it gets added as a book with the title of the file name, Report Bookings 2. Again, don't worry about that. We're not done yet. Author unknown. Again, it doesn't matter. But this zip file, we can see if you've got the description open on the right-hand side, you can see formats zip. Okay, so now let's say that zip file, which contains the Excel file related to a book, I want to tie them together. How do you do that? So let's say the book I want to tie it to is, let's just choose one at random here. Bitter Pill, Why Medical Bills Are Killing Us. So first, select the book to which you want to attach the file. Done that. Then shift-click on the zip file that we just added, which has the related file. Then click M for merge. M for merge. So I'll do that now. It gives me a warning. It says they're going to be merged together. And I just say yes. And now this book, Bitter Pill, Why Medical Bills Are Killing Us. Now, if we look over here, it says formats PDF and zip. But zip's not really a format. It's the zip file that contains the related files. And if I open the folder that's associated with this book, so it opens up the folder in my archive, here I can see the zip file that I added. And like I said, it's been renamed to match the name of the book, which is book name - author name. And if I open it up or just double click on it, here I can see this file name underlying, file name's not changed, ready for me to grab and use at any time. Okay. One other tip I'll give you is, okay, well, how do you keep track of books that have attached files or have files attached the way we just attached them? What I would suggest, one idea, by the way, ignore, you're hearing chirping in the background. It's this noisy little girl here. She is very chirpy. Okay, we'll just ignore her. Okay. How do you keep track of the books that have files attached? You can manually do it, and since we're manually adding these documents, it's not that big a deal. So what I'm going to do is add a column into Calibre that will let me check a box to say whether or not there's attached included files. So to get that, all I do is on the column headings, just do a right click and then add your own columns, and then add custom column, and lookup name, extra underscore files, column heading, extra files, question mark. I'm going to want to show this as column type. Let's do it as a yes, no. Description, I don't care about, let's show it as just an icon, and default value, I'll leave blank. Click. Okay, I'm going to then click apply down here. I'm told I have to restart Calibre to see this, so I restart Calibre. And after a couple of seconds, Calibre restarts. If I scroll all the way to the right, I can see extra files as a new column. And since this one has that extra column, I'm just going to change that to yes. And now I've got that marked. Oh, and of course I can drag this column header further to the left if I want, just so I can see it a little more readily in my view here. So of course the other way to find it is you could go formats and look for format zip. And here I can see a few that maybe I should note have the extra file. So you can see what's happening here. That file is getting added as an additional book type, even though it's really not a book. Now, having said that, I did learn something a little bit interesting that you might want to be aware of. If you, instead of zipping up, say, an Excel sheet, let's say you zip up a photo or a group of photos, something interesting is going to happen. Let me just show you that real quick. So let's say I add a few JPEGs to a zip file and try to add that as my attached file. So I'm just going to choose a couple of JPEG pitch photographs here. And I'm going to right click and compress them to a zip file. Again, the name doesn't matter. Name here. And then I'm going to add that to Calibre by dragging it into Calibre. So this is where things get interesting. It was a zip file with a bunch of JPEGs in it. Look at the format, excuse me. Look at the format type here. It's CBZ. CBZ is a comic book zip. This is a format that Calibre understands. It's just a zip file with a bunch of JPEGs, which is a scan of the pages of a comic book, which you can display and keep in your Calibre library. But that means if I add that to another book, it will be added as a CBZ format, not as a zip, even though I want it to be a zip. So I'm not sure what the implications of that are, but just so you know, it did a little change in the background here. So let's just see how that works. If I go, let's add it to the same book we did before. Bitter Pill, Why Medical Bills Are Killing Us. Select that first. Then Control click the CBZ book now, which is really just was a zip file and now it's a CBZ file. And we hit M to merge them. And now I've got formats CBZ, PDF, and zip. And if I open up the folder, here I can see, yes, indeed, there is a CBZ file in here. If I change that file, never do this, but I'm going to do this just temporarily. If I change that back to a zip, I can see it has the JPEGs inside it, just like I thought it did. So be aware, it tries to be pretty smart. If it sees a zip full of JPEGs, it thinks it's a ZBZ, and that hopefully hopefully that isn't going to be a problem, because typically I don't think you'd be adding a bunch of photographs to a book file, but maybe you would. I don't know. Now, what if you make a mistake or whatever? For example, let me undo what I just did. I want to get rid of that CBZ file and the other zip file. It has nothing to do with this book. That was just an example. But we can learn from this. What if you've added some files that you want to get rid of? So all you have to do is select the book that you want to remove the zip file or the CBZ file from, and we hit the little down arrow next to the Remove Books button. And there's an option to remove files of a specific format from selected books. So click that, and here I say choose formats to be deleted. I want to delete the CBZ and the zip, and hit OK. and they're gone. That's about all I've got to say about that. Thanks for watching, everyone.